and yet in her own female way as far away from him as the moon, thinking of those fluids now, almost listening to those fluids, his and hers, from this morning's love. And what else? What else? While Steve showered, she made breakfast for him, eggs and bacon and toast and honey, because he worked as a carpenter and needed the calories. There had been a frost last night, but golden chrysanthemums and a few pale summer pink roses still bobbed brightly against the stone wall at the back of their yard. The 5 maples that towered along the fence line blazed, but beneath them the summer's pink impatiens broke upward through the russet leaves that layered the ground. All that triumphant, spectacular nature made Sara smile. She thought she had a secret. She had turned up the thermostat when she came downstairs, and now the furnace came on, filling the kitchen with warmth as the coffee pot filled the air with its tantalizing aroma. She inhaled deeply. God, she was such an aroma nut she should hunt for truffles like a pig, or root around for drugs at airports. She laughed out loud at the thought. "What's so funny?" Steve asked, coming into the kitchen, all fresh and clean, his blonde hair still damp. Her heart kicked like the furnace, with a forceful thump, just to see him. After 2 years of marriage, the sight of him still moved her to the depths. "Oh, nothing. Everything. It's such a beautiful day," she said, going to him for a hug. "You're such a beautiful lady," he said. They sat across from each other at the kitchen table. Another ordinary day, Sara thought, smiling to herself. But then again, maybe not. She looked down at her lonely cup of coffee and pitiful grapefruit half, then over at Steve's abundant plate where salty bacon curled seductively, waving at her. She grabbed up a letter she'd tossed onto the table the day before and began to read it again, just to keep her hands off that bacon. "Woof," Steve asked, his mouth full. "A letter from Julia," Sara said. Julia was her best friend, her direct line to Boston, her safety valve and counselor. "Listen to this. I meant to read it to you Saturday when it arrived. She's such a nut. She's been digging little tidbits up for me from the BU library. This is from Fraser's Golden Bough. In the county of Bécs in Hungary, barren women are fertilized by being struck with a stick which has first been used to separate pairing dogs." "Charming image," Steve said, grinning, "but hardly practical." "I don't know," Sara said, laughing. "There are lots of dogs on Nantucket." "And I'd have to beat you with a stick which has separated mating dogs? Sounds a little kinky to me." Steve paused, then grinned across the table at her. "All right, I'll do it. I think I could really get into it." "Oh, great," Sara replied. Steve rose and pulled his grubby red vest over his tattered but clean flannel shirt. "I've got to go now or I'll be late." He leaned over and nuzzled the back of Sara's neck. "Sorry I can't stay here and beat you with my stick." Sara turned in her chair and their lips met. They smiled at each other when he straightened. "See you later," he said. Then, at the door, he paused. "Meet me at the Atlantic Cafe tonight about 5, okay? It's Mick's birthday and the group's going to get together." "Oh, sure," Sara said, feigning enthusiasm. "Fine. Well, do you want me to pick up a present for Mick? Something funny?" "I don't think so, hon. Mick will be happy if we just sing happy birthday and buy him a few beers." "All right. See you then." Sara looked back down at Julia's letter. "Of course you're feeling crazy," Julia had written. "If you didn't feel crazy now, I think you really were. I mean, in the first place, you gave up all the power and prestige and a carpeted office and your name carved in wood on your door at Walpole and James to follow your true love. Just like Annie Oakley in a dinghy across the ocean to live on an island that has fewer people than a shopping mall parking lot. And Nantucket is Steve's territory. Nobody knows you and everyone knows Steve. Some quite a bit better than others, which has got to be a little wearing now and then. Now you say you want an instant baby? I don't know. I think this calls for one of our all-night alcoholic powwows in front of my fireplace. Perhaps all that sea air has clogged your brain.